Hello everyone, welcome back to Isadora. I hope you're having a good week. Okay, so today is a bit of a different one. Today I wanted to talk about smear campaign, and but I'm not just talking about smear campaign in the third party like I normally do. I wanted to talk about my experience with smear campaign. And the truth was, I wasn't planning to do this video at all. I wasn't even planning to do a video anytime soon. Like I just thought I would leave it for a minute and catch up on other things, but I was inspired to do this because okay, let me get into details. I got a call from a dear mentor of mine. Not just a mentor, a father, a friend, you know, and well, and friends anyway. So not one person, like 3 people. So it was great. This is somebody I'd lost contact with for a minute, you know. And like I always say, like, no matter what it is you're going through, it's always good to talk about it. And for me, I've always all my life I've always tried to surround myself with a mentor, father-ish type people, because for me, like, I don't know the best way to describe this. Like, I've lived almost like a very, you might call it a supernatural kind of life. Like, the things I experience, a lot of people don't experience it. Do you understand? So I've lived a somewhat, I would call it supernatural kind of life. So which is what made me realize at the end of the day that I think I'm being called to walk on a certain path, you know, and maybe finally I've answered the call. So what I used to do, the thing is, so I've always tried to surround myself with like a mentor, father-ish type of people, because like so many things have happened in my life that I've never been able to explain till now. Do you understand? Now I have a better understanding of whatever it is. Do you understand that I keep going through? But at a certain time in my life, I didn't. So I always needed this sort of people. Like, I always had to have like a mentor-ish, father-ish kind of person, someone like people I could talk to. Do you understand? So I've always tried to surround myself. Like I said, I've never really been able to explain certain things that happen to me. Do you understand? Or that keeps happening to me. So anyway, so I got a call from him, and and some other friends as well. I mean, all from one angle. Anyway, so it was really good to talk to people that I was very comfortable with. It was really good to have a conversation, and in the process of talking to him, he had said to me that sometimes we experience certain things in life. It's not for us to feel depressed, it's for us to be able to share it with other people, so anybody else that is going through it, it would be serve as a testimony to other people. So it would encourage other people that if you can get through it, or if I can get through it, you know, so can they. So it's supposed to be looked at in a positive and not in a negative. And I think that really inspired me to do this video. So today I'm going to be talking about my experience with smear campaign. I mean, even if I wanted to talk about smear campaign, my plan was just to talk about it in a third party, from an educative point of view, and not necessarily talk about it in terms of myself or what I went through. But I think it's best to talk about what I went through, my own personal experience, and that might be great. But okay, so like I always say, my videos are not pre-planned, so it might be a bit all over the place, but please hear me out. Before I start, can we just very quickly say our Lord's Prayer? I mean, we're still talking about narcissistic smear campaign at the end of the day, so it's always good for great coverage. So, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thou is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. I choose our Lord's Prayer because I don't think it's necessarily religion based. I think it's prayer to God. I don't think it's religion based. So let me get into it, because I can see that my time keeps flying. So anyway, so first of all, what is smear campaign? You know, I keep talking about all this, using all these grand words and whatnot. I like to break it down as well, because like I always say, before about 3 years ago, if somebody had said all those things, I had zero clue. Even though I was experiencing it, I just didn't know what it was. Like I said, that's why I also try to surround myself with certain type of people so they could explain certain things to me, because so many things, like I said, I've lived like a very supernatural life. So anyway, so what is smear campaign? So first of all, if you take a white cloth, right, and you smear like what's it called, and you smear like a red paint on it, or like whatever color paint on it, do you understand? What happens? It becomes dirty, it's smeared, right? So that's smear. So what's a campaign? Everybody knows what a campaign is, where people come out and hold placards, like troops and troops and troops of people, and they hold placards and they campaign about something. So imagine the two together. So it's like a smear campaign, if that makes any sense. Okay, so yeah, so that's what a smear campaign is. And a smear campaign consists of lies, of gossip, and of slander. We all know what lies is, right? And to be honest, I'm just gonna say this, like, until now, I have never really attached so much value to telling lies. Not that I didn't know it was bad, don't get me wrong. And I'm not one to tell like major lies, like huge lies, because I can't keep up with my lies. That's the only reason. So I can't keep up with lies. I will forget. So I try, and I hate one of those situations where I get caught in a lie. I just really, really hate it. So I try to be as honest as possible, even though, yes, white lies, little white lies. Oh, I'm on my way, I'm never on my way. Oh yeah, I'll do it now, I'll probably won't do it. So yeah, so I mean, and then there are times where you want to get out of a situation and you just, you tell non-malicious lies, like sometimes, do you understand? Or I don't want to tell somebody what's going on, I'll just make up a story or whatever it is, but non-malicious, not towards anybody else. I mean, just to either not give off some sort of information or whatever it is. Anyway, so I've never really attached so much importance to lies till now. Like, seriously, even though I experienced smear campaign. I mean, I did a video on gang stalking, right? And I talked about my experience with smear campaign back in high school. But the truth is, for me, I felt like, okay, that was a long time ago, whatever it is. So like I said, I've never really, but now, like, I detest lies or liars. I can't stand anybody that tells that. I just can't. I'm sorry, because now for me it is attached to so much evil. Do you understand? I feel like, how they say the devil, and like I said, aka Freddy Krueger. So we're going to be using Freddy Krueger, not devil. So when you hear me say Freddy Krueger, you know who I'm talking about. Okay, so Freddy Krueger is the father of lies. Do you understand? So I hate lies. I'm sorry. Like, when you've experienced certain things, you would hate, I detest when I sense that somebody is talking and it's not true and it's a lie. That's the end. Not of the conversation, of me ever speaking to that person again. It's like that bad. Do you understand? I detest lies, like literally, because it's so evil. That's the way I see it, mostly because of what I've experienced. So anyway, so let me get into it. So it consists of lies, it consists of slander. Slander is when you slander someone's name, like when you say certain things, when you say like extremely derogatory things about them that is completely untrue. Do you understand? Extremely derogatory, extremely, like defamation of character. Exactly. So that's slander, like defamation of character. Yeah. So and gossip, obviously, because it's always done undercover. They will never confront you. They don't confront you. Do you understand? They will never ever confront you. It's always true gossip and slander and lies. So that's what it consists of. So like I said, my experience with smear campaign. So before I start, I'm gonna say this, like, when you do experience, I mean, people experience gossip, or the friends gossiping about them. People experience lies on a low scale. Do you understand? On a low scale, like people will tell lies on you or whatever it is. All that stuff to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. All that stuff is on a low scale. Smear campaign is not on a low scale. They say Freddy Krueger comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Believe you me, that's what smear campaign is. It's not on a low scale. It's not like just being lied on. It's not like just small defamation of character. It's not something small. They go for the jugular. When a narcissist decides to put a smear campaign on you, they go for, like, do you understand? They are trying to ruin, destroy everything that is you. if that's possible. They're trying to make sure that nobody ever speaks to you again. They're trying to make sure that you never work again. They're trying to make sure that you don't have a dime. They're trying to make sure that you take your own life. It's that deep. Do you understand? So smear campaign, like I said, people go through slander, people go through lies, people go through gossip, but on a low scale. A narcissistic smear campaign is not on a low scale. They go for the jugular. They go to the extremes to make sure that you're totally destroyed. Totally, completely destroyed. Okay, so I want to refer back to my last video, right? Somewhere in my last video I was talking about when I went through smear campaign, and I was saying, I was busy saying in that video, oh yeah, you know, I'm not going to go through it again because I know better now. I do this. What I didn't realize when I was making that statement was there was actually a bigger smear campaign kind of like cooking in the pot and waiting for me. So anyway, so let me get into it. So mine started like on a very, like, I'm going to talk about the smear campaign, but I'm not going to really say what made it happen. Do you understand? I'm not really going to go into the details of what and who. Do you understand? But I'm going to talk about the smear campaign part itself and what I had to experience. So I mean, it started very, very low key, and honestly at the time I didn't think much of it. So it started with, when I noticed something was going on, was it started with a friend of mine. Like, okay, see, a guy friend of mine. For me, I've always been a bit of a, I grew up around 3 brothers, right? So I've always been a bit of a tomboy at heart. I mean, I'm very feminine, but I can also be a tomboy at heart. Like, I'm just one of those. Do you understand? So for me, I've always had more guy friends, platonic, nothing, not romantic, nothing sexual, nothing. I've always had more guy friends than female friends. Like I said, very platonic. Even though I'm beginning to learn that in certain parts of the world, you're actually like a hoe if you have guy friends. I didn't know that. I'm not of that school of thought, because for me, that's like a bit 16th century, right? Like, you can have guy friends, and do you understand? The whole... Anyway, let me get into it. So, one of my friends... So, I mean, like I said, it started on a very low-key note, right? Like, and just one evening, he had just said to me, oh, whatever it is you're doing to me, you need to stop it, you need to stop it, you need to do this, and started throwing accusations. But the accusations, I mean, it was unfounded. It didn't make any sense. Okay, so before I get into it, let me first of all say something to you. I mean, it would have started from one person and then it spread. Do you understand? It really spread. So that one person would be the narcissist that starts the whole smear campaign thing, and then they look for people, their own friends, your own friends, like literally you won't know, but they will go around to everybody you know. Now the thing is, they can't necessarily go around to everybody you know. So what they do is go around to people that are very close to you, people that will buy their story. Do you understand? And then those people will help them spread it to other people, if that makes any sense. So that's usually how it works. Now these people are called flying monkeys, the ones that help the narcissist spread it. Do you understand? They're called flying monkeys. And the reason why they're called flying monkeys, so I'm saying all this so that when I get into it I can just keep talking and everybody would understand. So the reason why they're called flying monkeys is, the flying part is the fact that they help the narcissist spread the gossip and lies faster than the narcissist, because they're the ones, they choose strategic people around you so that they can help them spread the gossip and the lies. You understand? So they help them spread it even faster than the narcissist. That's the flying part. Then the monkey part is, somehow somebody comes to, I mean, I want to use myself as an example. If somebody came to me and said something to me about my friends that I've known for, or my family, do you understand, that I've known for 5, 10, 2, 3 years or whatever it is, I don't believe that I'll be so quick, first of all, not to defend my friend and then go back to my friend and then ask them about it later, like what's really going on. Do you understand? Which is what I will do. I believe that's what I will do. But even if I don't do that, I don't believe, I mean, I would, For some reason, these people would forget everything they know about you and believe what this one person is saying. How does that even make sense? This person, I've known this person for like 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Do you understand? But this person comes one day and tells me everything that is opposite of what I know about this person, but then I believe it and help them spread the gossip and the rumor. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm going to say this, that anybody that does that is quick to help the narcissist spread gossip and lies about you, they were already waiting for a reason to hate you. They were already waiting for a reason to sabotage you. The narcissist just found the perfect person to help them out. Do you understand? They were already waiting, because if you're not waiting to slander someone, if you're not waiting to go against somebody, you don't believe, you are not quick to believe a lie somebody just came to tell you. Whether it sounds crazy or not, do you understand? If I'm confused about my friend, I have like 1, 2 people that, trusted people that I can discuss it with, like, okay, you know what, this person came to me, I don't know what to do, this person said this is about this person. Now I'm talking to you about it because it's confusing to me. I don't know this person to be that sort of person. What do you think I should do? Do you understand? Not help them spread lies, gossip, and I won't do that. I think, first of all, my allegiance is to my friend or my family or whatever. But these people, for some reason, are able to get into people's families, destroy the entire family, tell the family member, and the family members to believe it. Like, my own advice for anybody that believes stuff like that, cut them off cold. Look, the fact that you're related by blood family does not mean you have to be related by blood. There's some people that are not even your family, they're just friends, but they would stay with you during tough times. They will be there for you during hard times. Those are your family. Do you understand? Yes, some family members too are like that. Do you understand? If you have those sort of family members, thank God for that. Do you understand? But if you don't, if you have the sort of ones that somebody can come from nowhere and come and slander your family member, and they will take it on and discard you and stop talking to you and turn their backs on you, if they are quick to do that, cut them off. They are not worth your time. It's not worth it. Do you understand? Because you see, what those things does, like I always say, a lot of people that go through these things, they don't come back from it. They don't recover from it. So if your own family is party to torturing you psychologically, to isolating you, to doing those negative things to you because some liar from somewhere came to say something about you. They've known you all their life. They don't even know you as that sort of person. Do you understand? But they choose to believe it. Then they were looking for a reason to discredit you anyway. They were looking for a reason to cast you out as the bad person anyway. Do you understand? Because somebody you love imagine like a romantic relationship. There are some wives you go and tell that, okay, I saw your husband doing this. Do you understand? And trust me, the wife will say to you whatever. They don't even answer you. Do you understand? They won't even believe you. Why? Because, do you understand? For somebody to come from outside and come and slander somebody you've known for so long, all your life, and then you're quick to believe it and you're quick to help them go and spread the rumors, then they're not worth your time anyway. That's the God's honest truth. And then another thing I'm going to say is that if a narcissist starts a smear campaign about somebody and they tell lies on someone, usually what they do is swap. They do a role reversal. What does that mean? See, with narcissists, they always have double lives. They try to appear to the society as the perfect angel, and then they label you the demon. It's a lie. It's always a role reversal. The reason why their stories are usually so believable is because that's exactly what they're doing. Trust me when I tell you that. Every time a narcissist points fingers at you and they accuse you of something, they're accusing you of exactly what they're doing. That's why I always say, to deal with them, you have to listen. You have to listen. Trust me. They will tell you everything they're going to do or everything they're doing. Once they're accusing you of something, believe you me, it's what they're doing. So they just do a role reversal. So their stories are always so believable. They come up with all these elaborate stories because they didn't pull that story out of their ass. Sorry. It wasn't pulled out of anywhere. It's what they're doing. They just talk about it because, you see, they also need to talk about it, right? So they talk about it, but they use your name. Do you understand? That's what happens. That's why their stories are so believable, because it is what they're doing. So they just put that garment of shame and reproach, they just put it onto the next person, and then they take on your own persona, if that makes any sense. You understand? So and usually the people that go through smear campaigns are usually the opposite of what they're being accused of anyways. Do you understand? So they find this person that is not so smeared, they take on that person's persona, and then whatever it is they're doing, because they always have a secret life, always a narcissist always has a secret life. They're either secretly doing something terrible, do you understand, that they can't talk about. So to talk about it, they talk about it, but they use the other person's name, if that makes any sense. So you can usually tell what they're doing. You can usually tell if you spot somebody that this person is actually is a narcissist. Trust me when I tell you that when they're talking about somebody, that's exactly what they're doing. They're just putting someone else's name, if that makes any sense. So it's already past 20 minutes and I still haven't talked about my personal experience. So I'm just trying to say all this as background. So like I said, so this person started to accuse me. Now keep in mind, this person is a flying monkey. Okay, so sorry, I was talking about why the person is a monkey. So yeah, I mean, if you can't use the common, because they don't use common sense that is like common to everybody, do you understand? So they refer to as flying monkeys, do you understand? Because common sense says that the person you've known for so long, somebody comes and tells you something totally opposite, do you understand? And then you're so quick to believe it, you take it on. You don't only believe that, you help them spread the gossip and the rumors. So they're called flying monkey. So this person was a flying monkey. So anyway, so he started to accuse me, oh, whatever it is you're doing to me, and I'm like, so kind of suggesting that I was doing something like diabolical to him. And I'm thinking, I don't understand. When I cook, I'm a chef, when I cook, you eat. So if you think I'm doing something diabolical, why are you eating my food? You should not trust me at all. Do you understand? Like, so I didn't take it seriously. But it happened the first day, it happened the second day, and I think when that part wasn't really flying, so he started to accuse me of other things. Oh, like I would just place a call, like, okay, like this person's like my person, do you understand? My friend, my G, do you understand? So I'll just place a call like, oh, please can I have this, or so, and then he would act funny, and then later say, oh yeah, I was with my woman, so why are you being jealous? Something. But like I said, it was only just starting then, so I didn't take it as seriously. And then all of a sudden, I started to get calls from like other people as well, saying stuff like lying on me to my face. So I didn't understand it. Like, this thing I'm saying has been going on in the last 3 years, literally. Which is why I said, I mean, when I got a call from my mentor, it was like being released from some sort of a mental prison. Do you understand? So in the last 3 years, I've gone through isolation. I've gone through loss of businesses, loss of work, loss of friends, and then like the few people I had left in my life, like I had to conceal what was really going on from them, because I didn't want to take my issues to, do you understand? So thank God for some good family members, right? Do you understand? But I didn't want to take all those things to them. I didn't want to burden them with whatever it is I was going through. So I couldn't really go into details with anybody. Do you understand? So I'd literally been in isolation in the last like 3 years. So I started to do these videos because of what I was going through. Do you understand? And then just trying to document it as well, trying to help. Do you understand? Like, I realized that some other people may be going through this as well, which when I realized the seriousness of everything, that's why I took it off Instagram, because it's not Instagram type thing. This is like totally different. So basically, so I started to experience that. But when I started to take it seriously was when I started to lose work. Like when I started to lose businesses, I would call people were not answering my calls anymore. Trust me, I was really confused. Like I had no idea what was going on. Like I knew something was going on, but I wasn't sure how bad it was. Do you understand? I knew this person had gone around to tell hella lies. I knew this person had gone around to tell all sort of crazy lies. Like I said, it's usually a role reversal. I said all sorts of things, but nobody was confronting me. Nobody was asking me any questions. Nobody was saying anything. I just realized that people were not there anymore. I'd lost businesses. Like, it got to a point, literally, I had no more work. Do you understand? I'll reach out to people. Like, for me, my business is, I don't even have to advertise per se. Like, I can just sit back and I'll keep getting calls. Like, I reject the jobs. Do you understand? Nothing was coming through. But I think something really hit me, right? And it's actually good to talk about this. So something really hit me. And I think that was when I started to really realize the seriousness of it. Like, somebody I really, really, really respected and I looked up to, and for me, this person was like, I respected this person a lot. I considered the person a friend. I considered the person like a mentor as well. Do you understand? Not a father type figure, but yeah. So I mean, this was somebody very intelligent, someone I really, really, really respected a lot and looked up to. Put a call through to me one day and said, I mean, there's this injection women take for like cervical cancer. So I can't remember, I said PVC or something. I can't remember what it's called. Something. I can't really remember what it's called. So put a random call through to me and said, well, I think you should go and take that injection. Something. And I'm thinking, that's so odd. Why would you call me and ask me to go and take? So I'd called somebody and said, okay, this person called me randomly to say this. Like, it seemed a bit odd. Like, even the person's tone of voice, like, I'm ultra sensitive, right? Like, I'm really, 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 really sensitive. I try to stay as aloof as I can because, you know, it's like almost like when you smell words kind of thing. Do you understand? So when somebody says something in a sarcastic tone, I can generally, even if they're trying to generalize it, I can really, literally tell they're referring to me, right? So most of the time I tend to ignore it. But sometimes, like, when it bothers me a lot, I would discuss it with somebody or something. So I'd called somebody and said, okay, this person said this. And said, well, maybe it was just, I said, no, it wasn't just a suggestion because I know the person and it seemed a bit odd. And like, what's the injection for? I said, oh yeah, it's for like cervical cancer, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so is this just a routine thing? Because I'm wondering what's your business with, if I do you understand, it didn't make a lot of sense. And I said, well, I mean, it's for people that are like, you know, that have a lot of sexual partners or sleep around or whatever. I'm like, what? Like, that heat, that was below the belt. It really was. Because, I mean, for me, it was like, you know me. Even if a lot of people didn't, this is somebody I believed knew me to an extent. Wow. It was when I realized that that was part of the smear campaign. I was being called a hoe. Which is funny. Extremely funny. Because I've had my fair share of relationships, but I am not a sex person, only because I'll tell you. So like, when I tell people I'm celibate, right, people think it's me trying to be funny, but like I said, I've lived a somewhat supernatural life, right? I call it supernatural because most of the things I experience, a lot of people don't. Do you understand? And I don't like to talk about it very often. Do you understand? And most of my life, what I've tried to do is try to fit in with everybody else. I try to fit in so that people don't call me weird. Even though I know that I'm going through some weird shit happens. Oh, I'm sorry. I try not to swear. So some weird stuff happens to me. Do you understand? A lot of weird stuff. But I try to fit in. Do you understand? So by having relations. So one thing with sex for me is, it makes me lose things. Like, if I have a job, right? If I'm working somewhere and I'm in a relationship, I get into a relationship and like a sexual one or whatever it is, and we're having sex, I will lose the job. So, I mean, now I've realized that I think it's because I'm supposed to walk on a certain path in life. I've been trying to avoid walking on that path. And I think finally I've had to just give in. Do you understand? Otherwise I'll keep having like setbacks and whatever. So some things are not meant for everyone. Do you understand? To walk a certain path, having sexual relationships and all that, is not supposed to be a part of it. So what happens to me usually is when I have those kind of relationships, I experience a lot of loss. So if I have a contract, I'll lose the contract or whatever it is. So those are the things. So when I say I'm celibate, is not trying to be trendy or trying to be, oh yeah, I'm celibate, yeah, because it's cool. No. It's because I experience a lot more. Do you understand? Not being celibate. So naturally, I've never really been that sort of relationship. I mean, this is not my first time of being celibate. I always celebrate myself when I'm not in a relationship, because that way I get to work better. I have better jobs. Do you understand? Once I get into one, I'll probably lose the jobs or something. Do you understand? So I've never really been that much of a relationship person because it just doesn't work for me. Not so much. Do you understand? It gets to a point where I'm in a relationship and I'm like, I have a job and so when I'm dating someone and my job is still there, I'm like, every time I'm like, oh god, do I still have my job? Am I losing my job? Oh my god. So for me, relationship is like fear tactics. Do you understand? I'm usually, my heart is in my mouth because obviously I don't want to lose my job or whatever it is. Do you understand? But for some reason I can't seem to keep both. Like I said, because now I realize that it's because I'm supposed to walk on a certain path, and I think I've been trying to fit in so much with society. I've been trying to fit in with people when it's not my path. Everybody has their journey in life. Do you understand? It's not my journey to fit in. But all my life I've thought, well, I had to fit in and I had to be like everybody else and not be abnormal and be normal, because I thought there was something wrong with me, and I had to be like everybody else. I had to be in relationships. I had to do certain things. Do you understand? So I mean, I don't, no regrets. Like, I had to go through all those things to get to where I am today. Do you understand? I had to have all those experiences to understand who I am. Do you understand? And all that. Do you get? So like that, even like with certain things, like maybe having a drink or something. I don't drink anymore. Do you understand? So, but it's not because I can't. I can. I just don't. Do you understand? Because I'm not addicted to anything. I do these things to fit in, if that makes any sense. So to walk away from it to walk away from anything has never been an issue for me, because it's not me. I just do those things because I'm trying to fit in and be like everybody else and not be weird and not be. But okay, now, so sometimes I say thank God for issues, right? Because thank God for the last 3 years of being in isolation. What the enemy meant for evil turned out for my good, because I realized that I actually love being alone. I got to discover so many things about myself. I am now comfortable to live in my authentic self. I like to be celibate, except I'm in a committed relationship. I like these things. You understand? Now I don't have to hide anymore. Now I can easily say, I don't want to have a drink. Do you understand? I can say these things now and not feel like I'm weird or feel like I'm odd or feel a certain way about myself, like I can't fit in with everybody else. I don't fit in. It's my journey, and I've come to appreciate that journey. Do you understand? So when he said that to me, when I realized what he was saying, it was shocking to me, because if a lot of people didn't know me, I wanted to believe that this was someone that knew me. I was hurt. It was so painful, and I think I started to understand the gravity of what was really going on. I didn't know how far it had gone, all the stories, or what exactly the stories were. I wasn't sure. So I've had somebody accuse me of being jealous of their relationship. I've had somebody accuse me of being diabolical. I've had someone accuse me of being a hoe. I didn't know what else to expect. And then all of a sudden, this same sect of people started to refer to something in lines of drugs and all sorts. And I think I started to piece together the story, and I'm like, what on earth is going on here? And then it got to the point, I would go to certain places and people would pick up their bags and walk away. like leave and not want to sit next to me or whatever it is. So I started to understand just how far this thing had gone. It was bad because I'd lost businesses. It got to a point I had no money. But I was determined. I told myself, and it was like that story of Job in the Bible, right? Where people had said, oh, maybe he's such a bad person or something, that's why he's going through that. Some people said I deserved it. Some people said I needed to be humbled. I didn't even realize I was proud, which I'm not. But in their books, maybe my confidence was an issue and I needed to be humbled. So, you know, people that I was really close to, it was like they were excited that it was a downtime, and they decided to kick me when I was down. I'd have people call me and say all sorts. It was bad. Like I said, nobody ever confronted me. Nobody asked me. And I don't know which is more painful, the smirk and pain, or the fact that the people I was close to, nobody thought it fit to ever ask me what's going on. Nobody. Instead, it was like they were excited. They wanted to kick me while I was down. It was crazy. So like I said, I would go to places and sometimes they would pick up their bags and move away. And I kept telling myself, stand your ground, you haven't done anything wrong. And then I remember there was a particular day, right? No work, no money, no friends, nothing. So I said to myself, I'm not going to ask anybody for anything. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to focus on God. And if I die, Freddie and his people were not going to win. If I was going to die, I would die holding on to God. And I guess that was a turning point. That was a turning point. Because the storm for me personally, I mean, it was going on. But it was like I was in a cocoon after that. It was like, you know, it was like God was trying to test my faith if I would still be faithful, even in that sort of situation. And I guess I passed. Because at that point I realized that it wasn't about anybody. It was about me and God. So I told God, I'm not going to turn to anybody. I'm going to focus on you. If I'm going to die this way, that's fine. But I would rather die with complete focus on God than die depending on man. I'm not going to depend on man. And the storm was going on, but I was in a cocoon. It didn't come near me. In terms of, I mean, there was no job, there was nothing. But God gave me peace. God gave me peace. It was so bad. I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know who to turn to. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I had some really great family members that were calling, trying to help, but like I said, I couldn't, it wasn't about anybody else at that point. I couldn't take what was going on in my life to them and include them in it. I didn't know how far it had gone. I didn't know how far what people were saying. So I was isolated. I'd lost literally all my friends, everybody I knew and all that. And like I said, some other people that I thought were my people were happy. And they kept kicking me when I was down. But I kept praying. Because you see, that garment of shame and reproach wasn't mine. It wasn't mine. And I could not remove it. Like, how many people do you want to explain yourself to? Like, oh, I'm not like that. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Do you understand? How many people could you really explain yourself to? The only way to get through smear campaign, narcissistic smear campaign, is to pray. Because now of the good person, and they've given you the persona of a demon or whatever it is they've labeled you with. And like I said, whatever it is a narcissist labels you with is exactly who they are and what they're doing. You can find out anywhere. So it's a garment, and you have to constantly burn it in prayers. So I kept praying. I'm still praying. Like I said, I survived it. It wasn't easy at all, with no support, nothing. But I had support. I mean, I had God. I had family as well. I mean, not everybody. I had some family members that were there for me. But like I said, it was about me. At the end of the day, it was about me and God. So I prayed. And then I realized that sometimes God allows certain things to happen to you, because if He's been calling you to walk on a certain path and you're refusing that call, He would leave you and let Freddy attack you sometimes. Just so that you realize that you need to come back to Him. So I went back to God. So when people see me talking about God today, they're wondering, what's wrong with her? I survived. I'm actually a survivor. And I couldn't have done it on my own. I did it through prayers. I'm still praying. I'm never going to stop praying, because I didn't think I would survive it. Like I said, it got to a point I didn't have a dime. And I decided that I'm just going to fast. I mean, if I don't have any money, I don't have any food, I don't have anything, I couldn't even buy a bottle of water. So I decided I'm going to fast. About 2 days later, a friend of mine called me and just sent some money to me. Thank God for her. Like I said, God put me in a cocoon. And everything that was going on around, it got to me, but it didn't really get to me like that. Don't mind my being teary-eyed or anything. I'm not sad. I'm actually really happy that I can share this. I don't know how this video has gone. I don't know how if I've made a lot of sense, but if I can get through it, so can anybody else. So can anybody else. But you can't do it on your own. You need to pray. You need God. I ran back to God, like, okay, fine, I finally give in. I get that you've been trying to make me walk on this path, and I've given in now. Because like I said, my life has always been a lot different from a lot of people's. It's just not something I've been able to talk about. I've never been able to get into it, because the strangest things, the most supernatural things happen to me. Like I said, for me, when I say I'm celibate, it's not your usual. It's because it just doesn't work for me. So if I can survive it, so can anybody else. Like I said, I always hate going into details or talking about myself, but I was inspired to do this. And if you're going through smear campaign, or if you've ever experienced it, you have to pray. I keep saying it. Narcissism is not just sciences. It's a very, very spiritual thing. Very, very, very spiritual. I've been trying to highlight it. But anyway, that's my story. That's my story on smear campaign. I know that I keep trying to dodge going into deep details, but I mean, that's as far as I can go. So I do love you all. Like I said, I survived it. I'm still in it. I'm still praying. And I was so glad I got that call, because like I said, in the last 3 years, I've hardly spoken to anyone. I was able to talk, and when you're going through anything, the best thing you can do is talk to somebody. Don't keep it to yourself. If you're lucky to have people around you, if you're lucky to have family, confide in them. People you can trust, not people that will turn around and use your information against you, because a lot of people do that through this period. I had people doing that to me. They would call me, I would vent. Was that vent? Is that the word? I would talk about what I'm going through, and they would take it back to other people and use it against me. So you have to be very careful as well who you're talking to. But if you do have somebody in your circle and somebody you trust and somebody that is willing to be there for you through this period, talk about it so that you don't hold everything in. It's not advisable to hold it in. It's not advisable. You're putting yourself through a lot of psychological distress, and that's why, I mean, in the Western world, people go to shrinks. That's the whole point of going to shrinks. I mean, in some parts of the world, people don't believe in shrinks. They think that, oh, you think I'm a mad person, why would I go to a shrink? It is highly important to talk about stuff that you're going through, which is what these videos are for me as well. I get to talk about things. I mean, every time, I mean, I post the video and I run off, but when I open it and I see 2 views, I'm like, did I read 2 people? Oh my God, thank you. Like, I'm grateful that I read 2 people. I don't care if it's 1 view or 2 views. I'm like, I do care, don't get me wrong, but even the fact that 2 people viewed, I'm like, oh, 3 people, oh my God, thank you. I'm so excited, because if 3 people have this information, I use it to help another 3 people, that's 6 people. Those 6 people can use it to help another. So it's not about my views so much. It is, don't get me wrong. So please like, share, and subscribe if you like the content. Anyway, so it is, don't get me wrong. But the fact that I even open and I'm like, okay, so 1 person, 2 people viewed, oh my God, thank you. So be grateful for humble beginnings, right? I mean, it would be great to open it and see so many views, but I mean, even the 3 views is like, I can't even believe anybody's viewing as well. So I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah, so I get really excited. So like I said, I hope well, anyway, I do love you all. Have a beautiful week, and I hope I've not been rambling on. It's like 50 minutes. I have to go. Bye. Namaste. Peace. I love you all. Bye. Have a great week.